I get those goosebumps every time you come around, yeah. You ease my mind, you make everything feel fine. Worry about those comments, I'm way too numb, yeah. It's way too dumb, yeah. I get those goosebumps every time I need the Heimlich, throw that to the side, yeah. I get those goosebumps every time, yeah. When you're not around, when you throw that to the side, yeah. I get those goosebumps every time, yeah. 713, with a 21, yeah, I'm riding. Why they on me? Why they on me? I'm flying. Sipping low key. I'm sipping low key and flying. I get those goosebumps every time. Come around, yeah. You ease my mind, you make everything feel fine. Worry about those comments, I'm way too numb, yeah. It's way too dumb, yeah. I get those goosebumps every time I need the Heimlich, throw that.
Good evening. Yeah. Good evening and welcome to Loaded Mag NUFC, where tonight I'm joined by Daz and soon to be Pete. Maybe Pete's feeling as down in the dumps as us, Daz, who knows? But listen,
I'd
thanks very much, Yeah, definitely. Thanks very much, everyone, for tuning in. I'm going to get the housekeeping out of the way straight away. So thank you very much for tuning in and for watching as always. Please do remember to like and make sure you keep them comments flooding in. And if you haven't subscribed already, please consider doing so. We would really appreciate it. Dazzler, maybe a stupid question, but how are you feeling?
I was okay up to about the 80th minute, and then that dopey donkey took to the pitch and just fucked it up for us. I know we're going to get into the game, but we should have been out of sight. But what was he thinking? It's not the 80s because there's cameras everywhere. Just fucking, you don't man. And let's carry on the show. But I'm okay apart from that.
Good, mate. Good. Yeah. Like you, I was in work today. Finished now for the rest of the week. Really looking forward to the game tonight. And what a fantastic start we made to the game as well. And I was thinking 3 points. Here we go. Absolutely delighted. And sadly, it didn't quite pan out that way. But yeah, other than the match tonight, I'm not doing too badly. But Daz, as we always do with these match reactions, do you want to kick us off with a little summary of where we were? I mean, I'll start first of all, Daz, by bringing up the team sheet. So obviously it was announced at 6:30 this evening what the team sheet was. So we had Dubravka in goal, Kraft, Shah, Byrne, Hall, Bruno, Sean Longstaff, Elliot Anderson, Jacob Murphy, Harvey Barnes and Alexander Isak. And the substitutes were Lorius Karius, Mark Gillespie, Paul Dummett, Matt Ritchie, Joe Willock, Joe White, Diallo, Murphy and Parkinson. And Daz, what did you think of the lineup when this broke at 6:30 this evening?
Yeah, well, I was hoping for one of either Chino or Trips to come be in there right back, and we got Kraft. We've no other real option unless we move Murphy back there, but no, Kraft, fair enough, in there. I suppose surprised Willock wasn't starting, but I did want Anderson to start. Again, I suppose surprised Longstaff started, but no, Anderson deserved a start. Willock wasn't really at the races against West Ham, so it was probably the right thing to drop him. And yeah, the front three, I was happy to see Barnes starting. He deserved it after his heroics the other day. So yeah, looking at the bench, we apart from Willock and I'm gonna say Alex Murphy, we're a weak enough bench to look at them.
Yeah. I mean, I was in the similar boat to you, to be honest. I mean, obviously disappointing to see that both Trippier and Tino were out, but I wasn't that surprised, if I'm honest. I was really excited to see Lewis Hall get a start. I was really looking forward to seeing him play tonight, and we'll touch on him a little bit later on. But yeah, the rest kind of was to be expected, if I'm honest. I mean, the only shock, like you say, Daz, was that, well, I call it a shock, but the only one that maybe I wasn't expecting was Joe Willock to be on the bench. However, Elliot Anderson looked particularly good last game when he came on against West Ham. and maybe Joe Willock was in need of a rest, so it was probably the right call from Eddie. But certainly when the lineup came out, I was reasonably happy. Like I had no issues with the lineup when I first seen it. And what I'll do is I'll briefly bring up the Everton lineup as well. So they have Pickford in goal, Mikalenko, Branthwaite, Tarkowski, Godfrey, Ajusagana, Gay, Anana, Young, McNeil, Decore, and Beto. And their bench was Virginia, Patterson, Keane, Coleman, Garner, Gomez, Harrison, Chimiti, and ACL, as I like to call him, or DCL, Dominic Calvert-Lewin. So yeah, it was a team that we were. I felt confident as going into the game. I know we're missing quite a lot of players at the moment. I think it's 11 or 12 players out. But I still felt this team was strong enough, and was more than confident. That we were going to cause them some damage. I mean, what did you predict? Like to yourself, what were you thinking the score was going to be, Daz, before the match kicked off?
I didn't really think I have a score, to tell you the truth, Chris, but I did think we were going to have enough to beat Everton. It was just seeing, I was looking forward to seeing what Hall could do, really, and maybe Anderson would pick up where he left off, and Barnes. So I was excited to see that. I was a bit worried about the defense. I thought Byrne played really well though in centres of Park. Yeah, I thought we definitely had enough to beat them. I didn't really predict the score, so there's no point in me predicting one now. It wasn't 1-1 anyway.
No. I mean, personally, I told my mates, I said I think it'll be 2-0 or 3-0 to Newcastle. I was quite confident we'd keep a clean sheet this evening. And I did think we'd scored a couple. I thought Alexander Isak would at least get a couple. But anyway, so we fast forward to the start of kickoff. War flags as usual with the fantastic display, which is always great to see. And Daz, I'm going to let you kick off, mate, with some of the match action, so you can kind of lead us through it and tell us exactly what happened step by step.
Sure, yeah, I'll fly through this and I'll stop.
Yeah, go for it, mate.
Points. Probably about 2. All right. 1 minute chances for Newcastle. Barnes with the best of them. First 14 minutes was kind of pretty open, but 14 minutes up steps, cool, calm, and composed Alexander Isak, the Iceman, with lovely ball over the top from Barnes. He gets around. Braithwaite gets away from him and slots it home. 1-0 Newcastle. Happy days, all looking well, picking up on the momentum we had for coming out of the West Ham game. So all look good. But your thoughts on Isak's goal, Chris?
Oh, mate, it was superb, absolutely superb. So the ball come across to Harvey Barnes, controlled it really well. Great lob ball through to Alexander Isak, and again, as we've always seen this season with Alexander Isak, he picks the ball up in quite wide positions. And I must admit, when he first picked it up, it didn't scream goal to me when the ball came into him, but controls it really well, runs at Branthwaite, wrong foot Branthwaite, and then Tarkowski comes in and he manages to split in between the middle of the two of them. And just as he's fallen over, puts it in the far corner. It was an absolutely brilliant finish. But I'm not really that surprised by these types of finishes from Alexander Isak anymore, because he's just proven how much of a good striker he is, and he's just proven to us that if we keep him fully fit for a whole season, and we've got the majority of our players back, we're going to look a different side. We really are. And Alexander Isak at the moment, for me, I've said it before that I think he's probably the informed striker in the Premier League. I'm now starting to think he's the informed striker in Europe, because every time I see him play, he just astounds me. I'm lost for words with him, to be honest. I just think he's that good, and we're so lucky to have him. And I think that brings him to 15 Premier League goals this season.
Yeah.
I think. Anyone in the chat tell me if that's wrong, but yeah,
and it's 19 total or something like that.
It was what, sorry, Daz?
Is his total goals around 19 for the season or something?
Yeah, in all competitions, it could well be. But yeah, he's 15 Premier League goals, given that he's missed so many games this season, and he's playing in an out of form Newcastle United side. It's really good going. But yeah, fantastic finish, Daz, and was delighted, and I got the voice notes off you and Pete. that made it all the more special. What were your thoughts on the goal, Daz? What did you think of it?
Yeah, I thought it was a great goal. Lovely ball over the top from Barnes, and it just it was a class finish from Isak. Delighted we have him, and we know we're going to be keeping him as well. He's not going anywhere. So put that aside. I see Lisa's very active in the chat. She is looking to rub it in to Pete when she sees him. So we'll keep that starred for Pete. All right, let's move on. 28 minutes, Murphy shot after Everton were just dispossessed over the bar. 34 minutes, break on the counter. Bruno onto Murphy, onto Isak, the Longstaff, and then it just kind of faded away. Dubravka save from a Decore shot on 42 minutes. 44 minutes, Murphy had a volley. It was saved by Pickford. 47 minutes, Isak had a shot over the top of the bar. We're unlucky in that first half not to get a second goal. Very unlucky, and we should have probably capitalized on this when we had a chance. But that brings us to the first half. What would you like to say on the first half, Chris?
Just frustrating, mate, really. We had a couple of chances, which you've mentioned there. Pickford made a very good save against Murphy when Murphy, I think it was Lewis Hall, who looped it over to the back post. Jacob Murphy did everything right, to be fair to him. He gets it on target. But Pickford made a good save, in fairness to him. And then also the Isak chance as well that you mentioned. And I actually thought it went for the corner, but I think Pickford liked to think that he got a touch on it, but I don't think he did. But yeah, it was just frustrating for me more than anything, because I felt like we played well. It felt like we were dominating, and I kept saying to Lisa, kept just saying to her, you know what, the problem here is, it's still only 1-0. I mean, obviously Lisa, my wife, she's supporting Everton, as you know, and she stopped watching it because she knew that we were on top, and she thought Newcastle are gonna really kick on here, and she was waiting for the second goal. Didn't come in that first half, but yeah, just frustrated really going into half time. However, I can't really downplay it too much, because I thought, we're going to come out second half and we're going to really kick on here. We're going to really, cause them some damage, and maybe we'll grab an early one in the second half. So I still felt pleased, and I thought, the performance was good enough, and maybe we could have gone in 2, maybe 3 up. And I think, like I said to you pre-show, Daz, Tarkowski had a really good chance in the first few minutes where he had a header bang on. Well, he put it over the bar, but he should have really scored. So to go in 1-0 at half time, I was content with that, should we say, because I did think we'd come out second half and be even better. But
wasn't to be. I can't believe Lisa would have missed it. It was Emmerdale on tonight. She missed it for the match. Oh,
no, she missed it.
That's dedication for you. That's a real fan. Is,
yeah.
But anyway, let's move on. Second half. Yes, 48 minutes. Tarkowski hits his own crossbar. That would have been nice if that one didn't, but not to be. Then 57 minutes. Byrne with the ball in the net. Isak with the assist. It'll pass across after a quick free kick, but VAR ruled it offside. Rightly so. It was Isak was just ahead, so we all knew it was going to get chalked off. But again, such a pity. No disagreement there. Then 65 minutes, Garner hit the post. We were lucky in that sense when he hit the post. 67 minutes, Barnes cut it back. Isak shot, saved, and off the line by Mikalenko. Then Barnes on the 67th, same minute actually, Barnes shot over the bar. Moving up, subbed in on 70 minutes. Willock come on and Anderson come off. It was nervy then for Newcastle. Everton started to pick it up. Their subs did apply a bit of pressure to us then. 74 minutes, Bruno shot saved on the break from Willock. Then turning point of the game. And I put a picture in for this, Chris, because this is it here. This is the turning point of the game. Hall had gone down earlier. He kind of was clutching his ribs. He did seem to take painkillers then, and to get him through most of the rest of the game. But he had to come off then. Well, I don't know if it was something different or what, but he came off, and on comes Dummett. Now, there's two points here. You've Dummett on the bench. You imagine he can see out 12 minutes, right? You also have Alex Murphy on the bench, who is young, fresh, and unproven in the Premier League, but has got a few minutes in the past. They're in training every day. Eddie Howe sees them, so he goes for the wiser head over the young up-and-coming player, and it backfired big time. Because, as we all know, Dummett mauled Ashley Young to the ground, and it was all day, every day, a penalty.
It was.
And Lisa asked you the question, Chris, and I'll put the question to you.
I haven't even seen
Chris, what were your opinions on the penalty?
I mean, do you know what? I said this to you pre-show, Daz. It's annoying, and I'm really pissed off she's asked me that, actually. But it's really annoying because I couldn't get angry over the decision because it's all our own fault. It's all our own fault. Paul Dummett shouldn't be doing that to Ashley Young in the box. Ashley Young was screaming, going mad. So when it first happened, I didn't see straight away. Because it happened so quickly. I just saw like a little melee, and then I saw Young on the floor, and then I seen him screaming. Now I know Young's a bit of a knobhead, to put it nicely, and I thought, is he just trying it on? Is he just complaining for the sake of complaining? As soon as I saw the replay, I turned to Lisa. And I said to her, "That's a penalty. All day long, that's a penalty. Yeah. What is he doing? What on earth is he doing?" I mean, I get that, he's only just come on. He's probably wanting to see out, the last 10 minutes of normal time, and then obviously the injury time. He doesn't want to make a mistake. He doesn't want to be the guy who lets the team down. But that's exactly what he's done. That's exactly what he's done by doing that. And he's marking, 37, 38-year-olds Ashley Young, and the ball's nowhere near him. So why has he got his arms around him, and why is he falling and dragging Ashley Young down with him? It's just, it's schoolboy defending. It really, really is. And for someone so experienced as Paul Dummett, who's been round the block, he knows the score. And in this day and age, as you rightly say, this day and age where you've got cameras everywhere, what is he doing? What is he doing? I mean, you can see him complaining afterwards, and you're thinking, what are you complaining about? Everyone can see it. It's clear as day that it's a penalty. And this is why I was almost. It was like, as a parent when you're disappointed in your kids, because I knew he'd done wrong. I couldn't get really, really angry and start, throwing stuff, and not like I was with the PSG penalty, because that was an injustice. That was the incorrect decision. But this was absolutely the correct decision. And as soon as the referee got called over to the screen, I knew it was done.
Yeah,
I knew it was done. It was the right decision. And that's the frustration, because, and do you know what? I'm not going to pin it all on Paul Dummett, Matt. I'm not going to pin it all on Paul Dummett, Daz, because it was the inability of us to take our chances, and that was the frustration for me. Yes, it was the wrong call from Dummett. Yes, he shouldn't have been doing what he was doing, and yes, it was a Stonewall penalty. But we should have been 2 or 3 up. So he can't carry the whole can, in my opinion. He can't carry the whole can because it's a team effort, and we shouldn't have been 1-0 up in the at that point in the game. We should have put the game to bed well earlier than that. Hi, Pete. How you doing, mate?
Hey, Pete.
Tell me you were live, boys. Didn't even know we were going live.
Was he not now?
We said it last night.
Yeah, you said if we won, we were going live.
No, we said we won live no matter what the result. We set it up. We sent the tweet out. So we're at the Dubrovka. The Dummett incident. But Chris, I pin it all on Dubrovka, that one. That are on fucking Dummett. That fucking donkey Dummett. He's wrecking my head now. Yeah, pin it all on him. What was he at? He should not play for Newcastle again. I know he's gone in the summer anyway, but how can you play him? He's not capable of playing Premier League football anymore.
No, it was deeply disappointing.
Your thoughts on the Dummett incident?
I've already tweeted it out. It's an act of stupidity. that's all I can say really. Would have won the game other than that. But when you've got players that are not up to it, this is what happens. When these things happen, it just goes to show that players like Paul Dummett just shouldn't be playing for the club anymore. They shouldn't. And look, we're down to the bare bones. Hall has clearly got a problem with his groin, which is why he had to come off. So that's potentially another injury there. But yeah, Paul Dummett it's just absolute stupidity. And it's cost us two points. Thought we were full value for the win. Wasn't the most prettiest of performances. But I never expected it. We've got 12 players injured, most of which would start for us. For me, yeah, I thought we did enough to win the game tonight, and it was really disappointing to see that a decision like that ruins what would have been arguably a bigger win than the one at the weekend, because it would have meant 6 points and put us into 7th place. So yeah, really disappointed with what he chose to do. Ashton was getting nowhere near the ball. That's just a simple fact. And maybe the referee should have took that into consideration. He wasn't getting near the ball. It was well covered, but you just don't do stuff like that. You just don't do it.
No. Pete, just to rewind a touch, because I want to get your thoughts as well on obviously the Alexander Isak goal. What were your thoughts on the Alexander Isak goal? To talk a little bit positively about one piece of magic during the game. What were your thoughts on Alexander Isak's goal?
He's just brilliant. He's 19 goals for the season. Absolutely superb, and considering the month of November and part of December, he was. Might have been October and November actually. He missed quite a bit of football, so it's scary to think of the numbers that he could have had he stayed fit this season. But when he runs through in that position, I'm waiting for the net to bulge, if I'm honest. Great ball by Harvey Barnes. I thought Harvey Barnes and Isak and Bruno linked really well tonight. Props to Harvey Barnes. Probably shouldn't have started, probably wasn't fit enough to, but had to be thrust into it because there's nobody else. Really lovely ball over and that finish. Jared Branthwaite is a good centre-back, but to sit him down and make it look effortless, to beat him and then put the ball in the net, I thought was absolutely superb. His price tag goes up.
Absolutely. So the penalty goes in, unfortunately. Ironically, Martin Dubravka nearly actually saved it, didn't he? I think he got a hand to it, but Dominic Calvert-Lewin put too much on it, and in the end, the ball ended up in the back of the net, unfortunately. Daz, any other little summaries after that, or was that the?
That was it. Bruno had a nice run at the end, but that was it. Dummett fucked it. Simple as that. Summary. That should be the headline.
Yeah. So obviously the match finished 1-1. Everton come away from St James's Park with a point. Totally undeserved point, if I'm honest. But I mean, as I said, I don't. You probably didn't hear what I said, Pete. But at the start of the show, I just felt frustrated more than anything, in the fact that we were good value for the 3 points. I felt like we should have got the 3 points, but I'm also finding. I didn't actually get majorly annoyed when we gave away the penalty, and then obviously they subsequently scored it, because I thought we should have been out of sight. We should have put our chances away. We had so many chances. Jacob Murphy had a fantastic shot against Pickford earlier on. Alexander Isak hit it straight at Pickford. Although I won't blame him for that, because he got his shot off and the ball did get fizzed into him rather quickly by Harvey Barnes. But he got the shot on target. But again, Pickford made a good save. I think the wife put in the chat, Pickford had a good game. In fairness to him, he did. Kept his head pretty well for a change. Doesn't always do that. But yeah, it just felt like a host of missed opportunities for Newcastle. And as frustrating as it was with Paul Dummett making that really silly error, I did feel like we could and we should have been 2 or 3 up by the time that if Everton were to get that penalty. So that was the frustration for me. But you're right when you say that 12 players being out. It's a big problem because we do have such a depleted squad. But I still felt even with this lineup that we had enough. We had enough to beat them on the day. But overall, Daz, how did you feel? Well, how are you feeling? What are your thoughts? Are you thinking ahead to Fulham already, or are you going to need a couple of days to lick your wounds?
No, I'm not really thinking ahead to Fulham, Chris, to tell you the truth. I'm more looking forward to the end of the season now at this stage. I know there's still something to play for. We can still get Europe, blah, blah, blah. But I'm kind of sick of the stupid things that have gone wrong this season, one thing after the other. And this is just another thing. But after, and it's also just kind of a bit sickening as well, after the great in the game performance in the West Ham game, to then throw it away silly in this sense. And you're right. We should have been 2-0 up, and it wouldn't have mattered then so much the dumbest mauling of Ashley Young and the penalty, but because we weren't, it does matter, and it could cost us big time yet.
Yeah, Pete. Overall summary, how you feeling? Any other comments about the game, mate? Anything that you wanted to touch on, or anything you wanted to highlight? And overall, how are you feeling after that result?
Yeah, just frustrated. I think more than anything, frustrated that we should have won the game. I thought this game would be tricky because of the players that we lost at the weekend, because of the situation of playing sort of Saturday, Tuesday with a very weakened squad. I actually thought we played better than I expected us to. I thought at times we sort of dominated quite well. I thought we battled really hard. I'd be interested to find out why they took Elliot Anderson off, because I thought he was excellent. I don't understand why they took him off. He was the one that was pressing high, pushing high. Longstaff, for me, was anonymous again. Why they keep him on the pitch, I've got no idea. Elliot Anderson looked like he was chomping at the bit in that game all the way until he came off the pitch, and no surprise that the midfield lost its edge a little bit once he went off the pitch. For me, he has to start. I thought Willock was okay. There's something not right with him. Because he's, whether it's fitness, whether it's something else, I don't know, but he's making some really poor decisions on the ball. Really, really poor decisions. I certainly wouldn't be starting him. He needs to earn his spot in the team. Elliot Anderson, for me, has to start against Fulham. Anything else? Thought Dan Burn was superb tonight. He gets a lot of stick. He gets a lot of stick for his performances, certainly out on the left. I thought he was arguably our best defender tonight. I thought he defended Calvert-Lewin and Beto really well. Thought he handled them really well. He led by example. Shaw, again, very sleepy, making some sloppy mistakes in terms of not tracking runners, but Burn was there to really cover him up and do a job. You could see the frustration when the penalty was conceded. Burn was desperate to win that game because he knew he was having a good game. But yeah, fair play. I thought Bruno was superb too. But I feel like I'm saying that every game at the moment. Bruno is Bruno. And maybe we shouldn't overlook that. But I thought he was excellent. Some really good performances out there. Frustrating.
Yeah, very frustrating. And boys, we go into Fulham at the weekend. I believe it's at Craven Cottage, back-to-back home games. So we've picked up 4 points against West Ham and Everton, and we go into Craven Cottage. And Fulham off the back of quite a big defeat tonight, I believe. Was it 3-1 to Forest in the end?
Yeah, 3-1.
Yeah, looking like that there.
Yeah, so big defeat for Fulham. So no doubt they'll want to come back strong at the weekend. But hopefully we can go into that game with a little bit of confidence. As Pete said, there was some good performances tonight, and I don't actually think Newcastle played that badly. I thought we played reasonably well, and there was a couple of real standout performances, as Pete said. Dan Burn in particular. I thought he was really, really good. I mean, Daz, who were your highlighted players tonight? Who were the players that you thought played really well for Newcastle?
Yeah, I said that Dan Burn towards the start. I thought he had a really good game, and Bruno driving force didn't pick up the yellow. Even the run at the very end, he was trying to do it all by himself. At that stage, what else would you say? Hall did well as well. Good that he got, at least we saw him for 70 minutes or so, or 78 minutes. Apart from that, Kraft, he didn't really do much, did he? He needs game time as well, I suppose, to get up to where he was before, if he can get back to that level. But we really missed a Trippier or a Tino. I thought Longstaff was better than he was against West Ham, but that's not saying much because he was absolutely shit against West Ham. Isak, obviously, Isak was lively, and he should have probably got at least another one. Barnes as well played well.
Yeah, no, you're right. There was a few good performances for me. I think it was Dan Burn being the number one. I thought he was absolutely outstanding tonight. Harvey Barnes played particularly well. It was nice to see him start and have such a good performance. I thought Elliot Anderson was brilliant again. Bruno. There was a few players who I thought played really, really well today, and it's just a shame that we didn't pick up the maximum 3 points. Just looking at the Premier League table now, Newcastle remain in 8th on 44 points. We're a point behind West Ham, who are in 7th, and we've got a game in hand on West Ham still. Man United, obviously, they have a game in hand on us, and they're 4 points clear. So we'll be keeping one eye on that Man United result tomorrow. I believe Man United are playing Chelsea. Is it Chelsea? I've got that wrong. It is Chelsea. Yeah.
Chelsea.
So we're still within a chance of 6, boys. You know, we're still up there. And obviously we've got to keep an eye on the teams below us. So we've got Brighton, who are 2 points behind us on 42, and also Wolves, who are 2 points behind us also on 42. So yeah, it's not all doom and gloom. I feel like tonight just feels like a bit of an opportunity missed. More frustratingly than anything, but we are where we are. Daz, have we got any questions in the chat or anything that we want to bring up?
Yeah, I want to ask, get your guys' opinions here on this one. From Toon Gamer, he goes, anyhow, not trusting youth unless no other option is going to cost us. Alex Murphy should have come on, not done it. It's easy to say that now, and I know he went for experience over youth, but would you have considered bringing on Alex Murphy there with 12 minutes to go, rather than done it?
Go for it, Pete.
Pete.
I'd have certainly considered it. They probably played just as much football as each other over the course of the season, which sort of tells its own story. But again, it goes back to the point whether you do it or not is a different thing. You're looking to see a game out, you're probably more likely to bring on an experienced head to be able to see that game out, and you'd expect that to happen. But for him to do what he did, it's ridiculous, it's stupid. And that needs to be called out. As much as people might love Dummett and respect what he's done at the club, as much as me, like, it still needs to be called out. It's an awful decision. But I imagine this is what Alex Murphy's role will be next season.
Yeah. Did any of you boys?
Hang on a second. Right. What has Dummett done for the club? He's been a bit part player through his career. If you ask me, there was one season or so that he was look. He's been a servant, but he's not held as in the highest regard by me anyway. Do you guys class him as being a cult hero or something of that nature? I don't.
He's had his moments. Obviously, some of the goals that he scored, some of his defensive tackles in certain games. I probably think he's maybe shined the most under Pardew and Rafa Benitez. No, he's not. He's not going to get Bruno status. He's not going to get Isak status.
No,
He's
no.
not going to get Callum Wilson status. He's not going to get that. But we have to remember he's a Geordie. He's a Geordie, and that in itself raises his level because he's been there for over 10 years. He's a Geordie. He obviously loves the club and respects the club and all the rest of it. So I think that there will hold some weight with a lot of fans off the back of it. But in terms of what he's actually done, yeah, I think you could argue maybe not a lot. You could argue that he's maybe stuck around during the Ashley days, but who would have had him? What other club would have taken him? So I think it's probably more the Geordie factor and him being at the club for as long as he has that holds him in high regard. But yeah, I think that high regard, with all due respect to him, won't mean too much in the next 5 to 10 years' time when you've got the likes of Fabian Schär leaving the club, when you've got the likes of Bruno leaving the club, when you've got the likes of a number of others that would have left the club. You could argue that Dan Burns' legacy is already kind of better than Paul Dummett's. He's probably done more in his short career at Newcastle than Paul Dummett has. So, but yeah, at this moment in time, I can see it.
Yeah.
But I also see what you mean.
Yeah, I also say Mark Lesby is also a Geordie. But let's move on.
Just before you move on, Daz, Toon Gamers put in the chat what I was thinking of asking you boys, actually. Toon Gamers wrote also, when was the last time he played as left back? Now, it was funny because when I saw him getting changed to come on, my first initial thought was, oh, he's going to come on a centre back and Byrne will move to left back. That was my initial thought. That's what I thought was going to happen. Now I know, we've said it in more recent games, haven't we? That particularly West Ham, that Eddie Howe shouldn't have tinkered, with the back line too much. So it was a like for like. But Toon Gamer comes up with a good point. Like I genuinely can't remember the last time that Paul Dummett played left back, because whenever Paul Dummett's played for us recently, he's played as centre back. Did you boys feel? I mean, it's all hindsight, isn't it? Because if we'd seen the game out, we wouldn't be having this conversation. I appreciate that. But did you boys, at any moment when the numbers came up and you saw that Dummett was coming on for Hall, did you boys think that Dan Byrne might have shifted out to left back and Paul Dummett would come in as centre back, or did you both think that he was coming on as left back? No doubt.
I just thought, fuck, Dummett's coming on. That's what I thought. I didn't even think about where Burner's going to go.
No, I in my mind, I knew he was going left back, and the reason being is because one, Burn was playing really, really well, and you don't really want to dislodge someone who's playing really well at that point in time for no reason. Because let's face it, Paul Dummett can play left back. He played most of his career there. Secondly, it then becomes a mismatch when you're looking at Dominic Calvert-Lewin coming up against Paul Dummett, because that was a battle, Byrne and Dominic Calvert-Lewin, and Byrne won a number of battles. Dominic Calvert-Lewin was winning a number of battles, and that physical battle and that height factor would have paid the price probably had Dummett played centre back from a pace factor and from a defensive factor. So it just made sense to shift him over to the left, where Lewis Hall was playing. It did make sense, but yeah, he's got done there big time. He's properly messed up.
Yeah. Next question, Daz.
Next question. We'll go to one from Toon Gamer. What do you guys think of Onana and Braithwaite, who we are looking at signing? I think both of them are class, but I think I'm not going to pay the prices for Braithwaite, especially. I think I'd love both of them to rock up at Newcastle, but I can't see us getting, maybe Onana, but I can't see us getting Braithwaite. I think he'd go to Man United.
Pete?
I'm not going to lie, I wasn't impressed with Onana tonight. If they're looking at 60 million, 50 million for him, he's look, and it's only on one game. He definitely didn't show that he was worth that price tag. That's for sure. I thought he was really poor. I was actually quite worried going into this game, looking at Onana and Decore, two big physical players that can get around the pitch. They're athletes, and I thought we might have a little bit of trouble there. But I thought Elliot Anderson absolutely bodied both of them. I thought Elliot Anderson was superb tonight. He was, for me, alongside Bruno, they were the two best midfielders on that pitch, those two. But from a physicality point of view, Elliot Anderson was putting himself about, and I just thought Onana would give it back, and he never did. I mean, look, in terms of buying a player, Onana, yeah, maybe. But if I'm Eddie Howe, I'm probably looking at that a little bit closer, because I was not impressed with him at all. I was probably more impressed with his hair, his big afro, than actually his actual performance. His hair was superb. It was a superb afro, but his performance was definitely not. Branthwaite, look, he got sat down by Isak for the goal, but I thought physically he was very good. He's an athlete, gets around the pitch, quite confident on the ball too. I saw some nice little spots with him tonight, coming up against an elite striker. I thought he did okay. I would definitely want him to come to the club out of the two for sure.
Yeah, no, I was exactly the same. I'm very underwhelmed by Onana tonight. Great hair, as Pete said, great hair, but I was
not as good as yours though. In the picture behind you.
Thank you. No. Do you know what? It was. I mean, it's a one-off performance, isn't it? I mean, I've seen enough from Onana this season to know that I think he'd be a good player. I do rate him, but certainly if Everton were wanting 60-odd million for him, I wouldn't be interested at that price. It would have to be more, 35-40 million. But I know that they paid a fair whack for him, so I'm sure a club out there will be willing to pay late 40s, early 50s for him. But I'm just not sure that we'd be willing to do that when we've got Joe Linton, who for me, I wouldn't swap Joe Linton for Onana. So, you know, our Callum's looking at me there in disgust when I said that. But in terms of Jared Branthwaite, yeah, top quality player. Is it what we need? You could argue not, in the fact that we've got Sven Botman, but he is a quality centre back. Again, he's affectionately known by my mates as 100 million. I certainly wouldn't be paying 100 million for him, but he is a top quality player, and I think on his day, you know, he when I say on his day, he can be a fantastic player, and in the future, I think he will be a fantastic player. Everton will do lucky to keep hold of him, being honest. But yeah, even of the two, I think that they're their two best players without doubt. Not that there's much to choose from. Sorry to throw that dig in, but they are the two outstanding.
They already
players.
had their other best player, and we was missing tonight.
Yeah, that's right.
That's the one positive. That's the one positive, boys. Is that we get Anthony Gordon back at the weekend. He was a massive miss for us tonight, and I think in that game, you know, because I actually thought Harvey Barnes played really well, but he tired in the last 15-20 minutes, which is expected. I expected that to happen because I said to you boys, I said it before, I didn't expect him to start the game because I didn't think fitness-wise he was ready to start and play a sort of a full 90 minutes. But he got through it. It could only be a good thing for him. But having, you know, like Gordon come on off the bench or start the game and having a Harvey Barnes come off the bench to be able to lift the team would have made such a difference in the attacking third. So yeah, you know, sort of all jokes aside with the Gordon situation, I'm really looking forward to him coming back in for the game Saturday because we massively miss him.
Yeah, no, agree.
Cool. Let's go to this question from PDK. PDK, hope you're well made as well. But he asked the question: has that penalty cost us Europe? We won't know. No, there's still Europe is still there for the taking if we really want it. If we want, can build it up to go for it. Just unlucky the way it panned out tonight.
I don't think so. I think we're still in the race for Europe, for sure. But we have to go and get something from Fulham. That Fulham game now becomes more important because we didn't get the 3 points tonight. And Fulham were really weird. I don't know if you saw their lineup. They had like Willian, Adama Traore, Jimenez on the bench. It was a really weird lineup. When I looked at it, I was thinking like that it doesn't really make sense. But they all came on after like 33 minutes. Obviously, they were 3-0 down. They're getting hammered. So, yeah, I don't know what lineup Fulham are going to go with at the weekend. But they left all their sort of pacey players on the bench, and that's the thing that probably worries me more than anything. But yeah, I'm going off on the tangent now.
No, but it's a good one to look at if they're targeting our game. That makes it interesting.
Yeah, I think Europe's still very much on the horizon. But we've got, do you know what, boys? And I hate to sound defeatist or negative, but we keep saying it, don't we? Like there's what, 8 games left, and I think we've been saying it now for the last 6 games. Going, we just need to put a run together. We just need to get a few back-to-back wins, and it's just so frustrating because we could have done that tonight. We could have come off the back of a really good, positive result against West Ham and followed it up with a win tonight. And it just feels like 2 points dropped. Are we out of Europe? No. I think we're still very much in Europe, but things would have looked a lot brighter had we had an extra 2 points on the board tonight. But if we go and beat Fulham, we'll look back over the 3 games. I think we said this, didn't we, boys, before we went to the West Ham game at the weekend, that we wanted 9 points. Obviously, of course we did, but I think we did say 7 points wouldn't be a bad return. So if we go to Craven Cottage at the weekend and get 3 points, all of a sudden you're thinking 7 points out of 9 isn't bad. So I just hope we go to Craven Cottage and we go and perform. Anthony Gordon's back, and go and smash them up, get the 3 points, and then things will look a lot brighter.
We're actually in a European spot right now, because there's a high chance that 5th place will get Champions League, which means Conference League will go down to 8th. We've already talked about it before. So at this moment in time, we are actually in a European spot. And so, yeah, if we're sitting in the European spot right now, we're in the race for Europe. That's for sure. So, still lots to play for. And let's not forget, and for the question, let's not forget, we probably have the most favourable fixtures of the lot. We've got the likes of Sheffield United to come to St James's Park. We go to Burnley, who I think drew with Wolves tonight, but Wolves are a massively depleted squad like us, but I think we've got a better team than them. We've got Crystal Palace away, who are just kind of dithering in and around the bottom half of the table, not really doing too much. Fulham Saturday, which is definitely a winnable game. That's not to mention the likes of Brighton at home. We've talked about it before. We've got winnable games. And looking at other fixtures, some of the teams around us have got big teams to play still, and each other. So, yeah, right in the mix still, for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
We might as well go to this one. And I'm sorry, Pete, to bring this up, but Lisa is coming for you. She goes, sorry, Pete, but thanks, Paul Dummett.
Yeah, shocking. Absolutely shocking. You saved your bacon tonight. Enjoy it.
You did.
But look, I'll let you have this one. I'll have my turn when you lose 6 points. When you get those 6 points ripped away from you, I'll have my turn. So that's okay. Don't worry.
He's back.
It's not over.
So, that's pretty much it for the questions, Chris.
Good man. Right, boys, last minute summary before we wrap up.
Frustrated. Some positive performances. Let's not be. I heard some rumours that Dummett was going to be getting another contract today. Nah, not a chance. However, roll on to Fulham. Let's go again.
Yeah.
I'll finish how I started with. Off Dummett. There we go. That's
just before we wrap up, I'll just quickly go to the sponsors. A big shout out to the Radiator Shed. Russ, who we met at the weekend. Russ, hope you're well, mate. I spoke to him earlier on today. All is good. big shout out to Russ. The radiatorshed.com, they provide top quality materials made from plate steel, providing longevity, all designed and manufactured in Italy. Aluminium rods are very environmentally friendly and are perfect for heat source pumps, and they offer home survey service and will install if required. So big shout out to Russ. There's an example of some of the lovely radiators that Russ does. There is Big Russ with our number 9. Also a shout out to the Northeast Partnership, the Install Works, Russ with the van. Pete, you saw the van, didn't you? You've seen the van in the flesh.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, great van. He's done a great job. Great van.
Great van.
Saw it for all of 60 seconds as I quickly grabbed the top and took him in the car. Sorry to go off track. Like, I've just looked at the league. Bournemouth are on 41 points. They beat
41 points.
They beat Palace tonight. They're on 41 points. They're 3 points behind us. Bournemouth.
Jesus. Bournemouth are in the relegation.
Let's get back to Van. I want to hear more about the van.
Great van. Russ done a superb job. Great guy. Great team on the weekend for sure. And yeah. If you see it, just beep. If you see the loaded logo, just give Russ a beep.
Absolutely. And also a shout out to Bathroom Design H2O. And some of the lovely bathrooms on offer. So make sure you get down to the showroom, have a little look at those, because the bathrooms are lovely. If you haven't become a member already, please consider doing so. You can subscribe to be a member of Loaded Mag NUFC. It's $1.99 a month. All you got to do is click that little blue join button. You can't do it on mobile. You have to do it on laptop or tablet, I believe. So if you would like to consider becoming a member and being part of our monthly prize draws where we do monthly giveaways, please do consider doing so. And finally, just another reminder, thank you very much for watching. And if you haven't already, please do subscribe. Please hit that like button on your way out. And thank you very much to everybody for all the comments in the show. I know it's been a painful one. I know it's not been a nice result, but thank you very much, everyone, for tuning in. It is a pleasure, as always. Boys, I really wasn't expecting to do this. I really didn't. I thought we were going to be coming into this show with 3 points, but we'll have to take the point and we move on to Craven Cottage. But boys, one more thing to say. Pete, I'm going to ask you the question.
How'd you like that?
Good night, everybody.
Wanna come